What's up, guys? This is Cassie.
This is Richie.
And we are To the Nines. Haha. Yo, what's up, yo? It's the first Troubled Children podcast. My name is Rhomar, Jessy.
Enzo, Gran.
Happy Asian American Pacific Islander Month to anybody that lives in the U.S., I guess. That's May. That's this month, man. So, shoot, let's freaking celebrate. But in honor of that, for this first pilot episode, the topic of today is transitioning from the Philippines to
America.
And for the people that can relate who are immigrants as well, I mean, when you watch this, you're seeing it from a different lens. But if you are Filipino, you're probably seeing it from somewhat the same perspective that we are. So let's start it off like this, man. Introduce yourself, bro, and tell them what you do.
All right. My name is Enzo Gran, DJ, producer, instrumentalist, creative.
Everything. You're freaking
creative.
Mega creative, mega mind.
That's just a little part. What about you, man?
Rhomar Jessy. I'm an artist. I do graphics. I'm a freaking college graduate. I'm walking.
Congratulations to the boy.
But I'm chilling, man. I'm a joyful boy. There we go. But anyways,
that's what's up, bro?
So, Enzo, let me start it off with that, man. How was it like transitioning from the Philippines to the States?
Interesting, yo. So I moved when I was 7, as you know, 2003. Yeah. 2004.
Right.
I came here in April or May, I believe. But moving was interesting. So I moved with my mom, but growing up in the Philippines, I lived in a house full of women. So respect was like a big thing in our house. I grew up on the foundation of just respecting other people and like treating others the way you want to be treated, the golden rule, as you know. But it was interesting, man. Like moving from the Philippines, it was a whole different world to me. America was a completely different universe, even as a kid, especially. But it was a big change in my life, man. Yeah,
I thought it was. I moved here when I was 7 in California. You moved to New York, to New Jersey, but landed in New York. I thought that it was gonna be cowboys. I thought the Golden Gate Bridge that they kept talking about was gonna be gold.
Was it actually golden?
Which it wasn't. It like looked red. So like it's just like when you're rust. So I don't know what the thing is. Is it being just ignorant, or like it's just me being a child?
I think
because you're a kid. Like,
I think it's a mixture of one being a kid, two what we saw of America was through movies, TV.
Yeah, it's a different thing. It's media.
I thought that everybody in America lived in skyscrapers, like the Jetsons. And they would land on the helipad. And
with the Space Needle joint?
Yep.
Well, let me ask you this. What was the culture shock?
Culture shock was independence. Here in America, there's a go-getter mindset.
There's yayas in the Philippines.
Yes. For those of you who don't know what a yaya is, it's basically a nanny in Tagalog, our language.
Like a babysitter. They clean everything.
Housekeeper.
They wipe my ass for me.
But that's a big difference actually, because in the Philippines,
did they help you with like taking a bath and stuff?
All of that. But when I got to America, I was 7.
I didn't know.
Had to do everything on my own, chores, all that. My parents put me to work.
There's no such thing as a yaya.
Right.
Because like that's more of a like a upscale thing. Because in the Philippines, it's more like
it's common.
It's status.
Right.
Everything is more focused on class. It's not necessarily racism.
Right.
Or skin color.
Right.
Not racism, because everyone's Filipino, but it's like when you're darker, status. It's like you're from a farmer's family, like you're poor.
Right.
It's like that's like something that we're starting. We have been, learning more about. Like that's not
there's
right.
There's more awareness about it now.
But it used to be crazy.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but having a yaya growing up and then moving to America, learning how to do chores and everything for the first time was real interesting.
Right.
Yeah, but what about you, man?
Yeah, man. When I moved here, it was definitely different. I didn't know what puking meant, so I puked in the first grade. And this is just a little fun fact. And I went to my friend Corey, and I was like I threw up. Like I didn't know what to tell him. So I'm just like motioning, like, and he's like, "What are you trying to tell me?" But it was because like you're taught English in the Philippines. You speak English in school. That's all you do.
Right.
But there's like certain terms like slang, like barf, like throwing up. That's like not really like, you don't really translate that. And vomit is like a deep word. So I was like, what the heck does this mean?
Right. Learning
it's like, the
culture of the language in America was interesting because, like you said, there's a lot of slang here that's different from the Philippines and vice versa. So. Yeah, the language barrier. What was that like for you?
It's tough because I was bullied in first grade because it's like different. Like you have an accent. I had an accent when I first moved here.
Right.
And you just kind of
you're trying
to figure out who you are because you're Filipino for the first 7 years, and then when you get here, you still are Filipino. But an American childhood is just so much more different. So when you're in the American school system, you're trying to figure out your identity. You thought it was this,
but
now it's like your perspective is shattered because you're like, oh snap, like you're so fragile at that age, you know?
Right. I think it's interesting how, as a Filipino, growing up in America, being Filipino American, like it's having both cultures grow up with you at the same time.
Yeah,
it's keeping the Filipino traditions, but adopting American ways of thinking.
Let me tell you this. Let me ask you this. So school and house were two different cultures.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Going home, your parents teach you one thing, but the school and this American mindset teaches you different.
It's different.
So especially like growing up, you kind of have to navigate the water in how to how to fit both in your life, the way it does.
And it's tough, but you know, you have to learn, you have to apply, like,
and I think
you have to,
there's good parts in each that like you could take with you, you know what I mean?
There's like a take the meat, throw out the bones type approach.
Definitely, man.
Were you made fun of for say food or anything that you did?
So it's funny that you bring that up now. I definitely wasn't like made fun of in a terrible way, but my classmates used to think it was weird when I would bring rice to school because
I did the same thing.
My mom used to make me baon. So baon is like food from home
with the ulam
and I would bring like a spoon and a fork.
And that's everyone eats with just a fork here.
Everyone eats with just a fork in America, but in the Philippines, everybody eats with a spoon. Like you scoop the rice with the spoon.
You push the food with the fork. Into the spoon,
and then you eat it. So then when I would eat with a spoon, all my classmates would be like, "Why do you use a spoon? Like just use a fork." And then it was like it would be like, oh, like you're bringing rice to school? That's different. It was different. I don't think they were making fun of me, but they weren't used to it for sure. What about you?
For me, I didn't really like get made fun of exactly. I did like specifically for my accent, but that was about it. Like, but a cultural difference was the vowels. Really? I read it in front of my teacher. I was like, A, E, I, O, U. And she's like, no, it's A, E, I, O, U. And I'm like, read this. I'm like, A. Read this, E. Read this, I. Now say the whole thing.
Oh, you were actually saying
because I was saying it the way you would say it in the Philippines. And the sometimes why thing wasn't a thing. I was like, I didn't find out sometimes why till I was in 5th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
But okay, so
the phonetical.
Let me end with this question, bro. If you had to go back, we're gonna elaborate on this more on the next podcast with cultural differences and just upbringing. But would you have done anything different, or are you proud of the way you came up in America as a Filipino American? Technically an immigrant because you weren't born here. So you saw the Philippines, but would you do anything different? And are you proud?
I would definitely not do anything different.
100% proud.
I'm 100% proud to be a Filipino and an American because I'm an American citizen now. And I love both cultures in both countries. And to me, there's a space in my heart for both places. And I definitely wouldn't have done anything different because being Filipino makes me who I am. But growing up in America has definitely made me who I am as well. So, yeah, what about you?
Dude, I'm super proud. I love it. And I'm glad, like, we have a platform that's growing where we can share what we grew up with,
right,
and see other people that may still be hiding in those shadows of insecurity and cultural. It's hard.
Right.
Like, you're trying to identify your roots, but you're in a different country.
Right.
So I am super proud, and I wouldn't change a thing, man.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. Well, yo, that's the Troubled Children podcast. That's just our first intro to this. We're gonna go crazier even more and go more in depth as we talk about culture and stuff like that. But yeah, man, thank you for listening, yo. We'll see y'all. You gave me nothing, wanted attention, yeah. You had me hard and chilling for fun, yeah.